Teleporting stones. A German tourist in the Philippines recounts that he had been staying in a large tourist house in the middle of the jungle for a couple of weeks, traveling to various tourist spots in the area. He was with some friends, and the house was filled with other foreigners from different nationalities, relaxing in its extensive and cozy resting areas, which provided the satisfaction they all longed for after their busy daily work lives in their home countries. In the resting area, there was a huge bonfire that, at night, attracted and welcomed all the tourists into a friendly social gathering. Friendships flourished over cold drinks that brought out their most intimate stories, making the place as cozy as it could be on those starry and warm nights. Among the group was the guide, who was constantly coming and going as he was the only one on duty at the reception of the tourist house. He seemed very worried, not enjoying his drink, so the stories and adventures among the other travelers continued. The next day, after a hangover, we were all having breakfast together, as we had become more adventure buddies. Suddenly, a French tourist asked the guide why he had been so busy the previous night. He began to tell us that they had received a group of historians who were looking for some ruins that had recently been found a few kilometers away. They were eager to transport their equipment and findings to the site but couldn't figure out how. The guide was in the process of hiring workers and machinery for the historians' project, but he said with great satisfaction that they had already solved it and everything was as it should be. He mentioned that we would meet the historians at lunchtime and that we could learn more about their adventures, making a playful comment about Indiana Jones. We all looked at them with great curiosity about their work. As the hours passed, people started arriving at a large dining hall where exquisite dishes were served. The historians were there, a group of 13 people who looked very anxious and hungry. No one dared to ask about their projects, so when everyone was finishing their lunches, the guide started asking them about their adventure. The historians looked exhausted but had eyes filled with wonder, like children finding a lost toy. They began to recount their findings, which had taken them years to decipher, their best way of giving meaning to their lives. They continued sharing their excitement over cold drinks on a hot day. As the place began to cool with the setting sun, the lead historian, who seemed very experienced, invited us to see their findings. We all gratefully agreed and spent a good amount of time admiring photographs and numerous other items. Finally, he mentioned that he had a display of 3 carved stones and that we could go see them since they were too large to fit in the small room they had been given. Upon seeing them, we noticed that 2 of the stones had carvings of what appeared to be natives with strange symbols, holding tablets at their waists, possibly in a praying position. The 3rd piece, smaller, was on a wheeled platform in another room. The historian, so excited, didn't hesitate to open the door to that room and show it to us, even bringing it closer. It seemed not too heavy. It was a type of crystal embedded in a stone frame, inclined on a stone support. We spent some time admiring these magnificent works of art, and everyone was waiting for complete darkness to light the bonfire again. One of my friends and I were the last to see the majestic carved stones and went to join the rest of the tourists. Then, one of the historians approached us and asked, "Friends, did you see my backpack? I left it near the floor." We said no, but the man seemed desperate, explaining that it contained authorization documents and other important things. A commotion began as we tried to find the backpack. Almost giving up the search, someone reported that a viscous, oily substance had been spilled near the stones. The group grew more puzzled, but someone broke the silence after a few minutes and said they had found the backpack outside, in the hallway leading to the main door. Strangely, the floor where it was found was damp with the same greenish, oily substance seen earlier among the stones, a peculiar viscous material that glittered like sequins but gradually disappeared. Then a flurry of conspiracy theories erupted. The historians' minds were racing, evident in their expressions. Everyone was amazed by the seemingly magical event. It appeared that these structures had an incredible power to teleport objects. The question everyone pondered was how it worked. Did it transport only objects or living beings as well? Some skeptics claimed it was mere coincidence, while others couldn't believe what had happened, their minds racing a mile a minute. I can't forget the sensations that enveloped us that day. It was the time I felt so different and grateful for such an experience on that tourist trip. After everything that happened, Everyone left with a story to tell. What remained unknown was what had happened to those stones, because the next day, the historians left with substantial logistical support. I imagine word of the event had spread. I think these stones are being studied now, and the information is likely restricted, as you know how things work when the unknown falls into the wrong hands.